The following program contains graphic language, which may be offensive to some viewers.
Welcome back, Delinquent Chronicles. We had obviously we've not had Neil for a while, so that was a bit of a ball ache. And now he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Neil.
Hello, baby. Did you miss me?
Yeah, I'm tough to kill, like Sam Jackson in The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah.
That's right, baby. Well, listen, we had a good time with Aiden on our last episode, and that's, you know, he was great and all, but we're really happy to have my boy back, man. Yeah, I missed him. We all missed him, and hopefully we can get back to our regularly scheduled programming. So, that being said, this is episode 26, Delinquent Chronicles. I'm El.
I'm Neil.
And I'm Jose.
And that's Jose. And yeah, we're just here to shoot the shit. In fact, before we start, I wanted to ask you guys a question that I saw on and I'm starting off strong here. We're not going to ease into it.
Yeah, boy.
If this is a question I saw on another podcast, and I just want to see what you guys thought. Fittest girl that now imagine a scenario, the hottest woman you've ever been with in your entire life.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay? You're having sex, yeah? And you're about to come. You're like you're maybe about 10 strokes off. You're in critical strokes, you're 10 strokes off. And she dies. Do you finish? And you know she's dead, right? You know for a fact she's dead.
Right.
You know for a fact she's dead. She just died, and you're literally in critical strokes. You're like 5 strokes away from coming. Do you finish off?
That's a lot.
See, the thing is now, right? What goes through my head is this.
Nobody will know. I'm just saying this. Nobody will know.
If I'm in critical strokes, like, you know, it's almost like the time crisis time is there, and it's like 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm like, am I really gonna be able to take myself out of that focus of, ooh, it's coming, to be like, oh shit, she's dead, right?
But that's my scenario. Is that like you're there giving it, you're giving her a good rooting, yeah? You're giving her the dicking of her life, and she just dies right there and then, immediately. And she's dead. Like, she's dead.
If that happens, and I know for a fact,
and you're like dead, 5 strokes away. Do you finish?
I'm pulling out faster than anything in the world.
Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, if I knew the person, I find it hard to come in any way. So anything that ruins that momentum,
it's over.
Yeah. I'm okay. Well, this is over, and then I would like to say the latter, but I rarely get that close with any woman in the past 10 years.
I would need to be at like 1 critical stroke, and I know just one, and then as I'm pulling out, it might just land on her. But there's no way that I'm leaping
you would ejaculate on a dead body, Neil.
There's no way that I could look, know she's dead, and be like, oh, I'm 5 strokes away. I'm like, nah. I'm not 5 strokes away. I'm 50 million strokes away now.
yeah. It's this planet that you can't quite get to. Oh no, I can't get to it.
Well, it's good to know that I'm surrounded by good people, because I would also do the same. Listen, if I'm not having fun, if she's not having fun, then I'm not having fun, you know? And I think that's important. I just wanted to set the tone, bring us back to home base, and just let everybody know what Delinquent Chronicles is actually about.
Yeah.
And we hear about the hard-hitting questions or whether or not you should come inside a dead body mid-sex.
It's the attitude era of podcasts.
That's
It
right.
is.
That's right. Okay, so now that that's out the way, that's our little icebreaker.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Guys, you should use that on a date. Or like, you know, if you guys go out and meet a chick at a bar or something, ask that question. Just ask her,
do you know what? I know what a woman's answer would be, and say, "Oh, I'll definitely finish."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a woman would finish. The women will not give a fuck if you're alive or dead. When they're in that.
I mean,
moment.
look, and this is not in defense of them, but I think the fact that it's so quote unquote difficult for them to come. I'm like, if it was that difficult to come, if I knew like, okay, I'm gonna have a sex with 100 women and only 7 out of that 100 times am I gonna bust, then it's a different answer. It's a more I'm gonna have to really think about it.
Let me tell
looking
you,
at that
ladies.
dead body, right? But if like it coming as easy as it is for us, it's like just oh shit, I'm having a hard day. I've got home. Hey, no one's here. Bus, right? Knowing it's that easy, I'm like, nah, I can save this nut.
When women are out here, all I want to say is all those women who were like, well, you didn't make me come. Well, I came every time. Okay, I came every time. And that's what matters, really. It's not true. That's not true. You should really like do go out there and enjoy your sex with your partners.
Yeah.
It's always fun if you both make the O face. You know,
Yeah.
that's good. Like that video I showed you guys earlier.
Oh, is that?
I showed him. I'll put it in here,
Yeah,
but it's
you
just
got-
basically a video of some chick getting a chiropractic adjustment, and she looks like one of those chicks who just like does not suffer the foolish men. You know, that's the only way I can put it. She's got a real stone face, like she's like an Iron Maiden, and then the guy cracks a rib in her like adjustment,
sternum.
and she goes. Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the moment you hear, you have to listen to it perfectly, and then you hear, as soon as you hear the crack, you hear the, and I was like,
Yeah.
It is the same.
At the right center.
Alright, we're going to adjust this rib, okay?
Okay.
Come underneath of this arm here like this. Go let that arm relax. I'm going to contact with this part of my hand. This is my thumb.
Okay.
This, we're going to come around the other side underneath this arm.
Okay.
Okay, holding there. Now, lean your head back against me here. Good. Good, you're breathing.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that feels good.
We will, and if you've heard that noise, gentlemen, I'm gonna quote Eddie Murphy when he makes a chick go ooh, and he's like, "I got this motherfucker now."
We know. As soon as you go, woo, I face in the pillow like this. I got this motherfucker now, man.
That's right, boys. That's right. Anyway,
You got that.
sorry, go on.
No, sorry. I said that in the middle of a yawn.
faces in the pillow. Just, got this motherfucker now.
So for the past few weeks, obviously we've not had Neil, and Neil's had a lot of stuff he wanted to bring up on this podcast. So I'm gonna kind of leave a lot of it to him. I've not planned anything, so I'm gonna leave a lot of the planning to him. And this is probably gonna be a 2-parter, so that we have like we've got enough of Neil to come back in, because I know you've been chomping at the bit. So off to you.
All right, cool. Well, some of the things that I wanted to talk about, you guys already spoke about.
Which was?
The Lily Phillips.
Dumb bitch.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So I was gonna say first let me actually talk about my time in hospital,
Yeah.
because that's where I was. I was in hospital. I was not just at home beating my meat. No, I was in hospital. Not going back.
Do you want to tell people what it's for? You don't want
Yeah. So essentially, I have some issue, which is my blood pressure is super high. So, for context, your blood pressure is supposed to be around like 120/80, and and my blood pressure got to, because I was keeping notes the entire time I was there, the highest it got to was 215 over 162. And that was on Thursday the 28th of November at 12:10 p.m. Yeah, so my shit was high. And it was... it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, because I didn't really have a frame of reference. So like when they told me, oh, your blood pressure, this is where your blood pressure is, and I saw the results and wrote it down, I was just like, okay. And then they were like, yeah, when you get to like 180 is stroke and heart attack territory. And then I was like, oh, okay. But it wasn't like the actual being in hospital and the medication and all of that. It was fine. What was not fine was the first day I got there, which was Wednesday the 27th of November. When I got there, they put me in like the Ritz-Carlton of hospital rooms, of hospital wards, because I was there and this thing was just super duper nice.
Were you on your own?
Fancy. No. So I got there and like there were other people in the ward, but it wasn't full. So a ward usually fits around 6 people.
Time out 1 second. I want to preface this though. When I found out you were in hospital, I told you many times, dude, get a private room.
Yeah.
Get the private room. Be on your own, so that you are chilled on your own. Because you don't want to be. I remember last time when my kid was born, and yeah, like we were in a ward, and I was like, no. I'm not sharing a fucking room with a bunch of other people, and and I said to the woman, I was like, you need to get me and my missus a fucking private room. She's like, it's gonna cost. I said, I don't care how much it costs. Get the room. Get me the room. We can't be here with these peasants.
Like, look at these fucking poor pieces of shit. Man. It's like, ugh. So much better than them. Don't stand next to me, dude.
Can't do it. You know what's interesting though, just before you go back?
Yeah.
I remember, this is where I found out, by the way, that I didn't know that Pakistani people marry their cousins.
What?
Have sex with their cousins. It's true. They fuck their first cousins in Pakistan, isn't it?
Wow.
And there was a Pakistani couple that were like opposite us in the ward, and then the woman, the nurse was, because like people think like you put curtains that soundproof.
Yeah.
It doesn't soundproof anything.
Oh no, Joe.
You can still hear
just
everything. So when they closed the curtains, and I could hear the whole conversation that was taking place with those people. The woman was like, "Are you two related? I have to ask because you're from Pakistani descent." And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
I know you sitting there, you're like,
I looked at Bloom and I was like, "Did you fucking just hear this?" I was just like, they're having their first cousins. They're like, "Are you first, second, third cousins?" They're like, "Oh, we're first cousins." And I was just like, "Cowbunga, huh? Okay." Now it's a party.
That's going to be a very
Targaryen shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very interesting gene pool in the next 5 generations down.
Speaking of, okay, so again, I know you want to get back to it, but I really have to mention this because I'm going to forget it because my brain is like a sieve. I sent Neil a message the other day saying there's a film called In Cindy by Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve. Yeah.
You know the guy who directed Dune 1 and Dune 2, yeah? Dude, the fuck it. Do you want me to tell you the twist in this movie?
Please.
Fucked, yeah? The film is, and this is a spoiler alert from a film that came out in 2010.
Yeah. Before you do that, I'll put it to you like this, right? For me, my top 5. I have a top 5 of most fucked up endings. The Mist. Old Boy. Requiem for a Dream. And this. I don't even think I have a 5th, but this is there.
And he hasn't even seen the film.
No.
He just knows the twist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it the other day.
I know the twist. I put it this way. I know the twist because someone was talking about it and they on a YouTube channel, and they were talking about effed up endings, and they mentioned this, and I was like, I don't know this film. And then I saw clips. They had clips of it, and then I saw and they broke down. They told you what it was, and I was like, not gonna watch.
Yeah, dude is fucked. I think is I actually like not sucking my own dick here, but I figured out the twist about halfway through the film because I was like because a lot of things happened. And I was like, and I knew there was a big twist ending, so I was like, it's got to be so fucked up that it's this, right? So essentially, the film starts off with these two twins, right? This pair of twins, a brother and sister, and they're meeting a lawyer because their mother's just died, right? And then their mother, they're like, oh, you know, in the will, they're reading the will, and the will says that you have to go and find your brother. And they were like, oh, we have a brother? Okay. And then you need to go find your father. And they're like, oh shit, we thought our father died in the war, right? And it's set in like, they're Canadian, but they're French Canadian. So the whole film's in French. Or Arabic,
I mean, he's
right?
French.
But the mother's, she's from like, it's like they leave the setting
Lebanon.
of the country. Yeah, it's like Lebanon, but they don't tell you it's Lebanon.
Right.
They lead you to believe it probably could be like Libya or Palestine or whatever, but they never actually mention it. The whole thing's a fictional story. Anyway, so the girl, she's like, I'm gonna go find this. The brother's like, nah, I don't give a fuck, whatever. So she goes off and she's gonna go. She starts tracking down her mother's history. Turns out her mother had a baby before they were born, and the baby, and it's like the mother was a Christian. And she had a baby with a Muslim man, and they were like Christian Arabs, and so they kill the dad of the baby, and they're about to kill her brothers. Killed the dad of the baby, and they're about to kill her. As in, this is the twins' mom.
Like an honor killing.
And they're about to kill her, and then the grandmother stops them, and she has the baby, and they tattoo these 3 dots on the back of the baby's heel, like downwards, and they say like, and the mom says like, I'll find you when you're older, like whatever, right? And so. She then becomes like a freedom fighter. She goes into live in the city. She becomes like a freedom fighter, and she gets captured by the enemy, and the enemy beat the shit out of her, and they rape her in prison. She gets raped multiple times, right? And meanwhile, her daughter is like finding this out about her mum, right? She's like, I didn't know my mum was this badass chick, and they call her the woman who sings because she would sing in prison, and no matter how many times they beat and rape her, she'd never stop singing, and they eventually let her go. And then the guy who like raped her had got her pregnant, right? And she had twins, and those twins are the twins now, right?
Right.
And so she's like, oh fuck. And anyway, long story short, she's been trying to track down her brother, and she gets to a place where they found out her brother went by a different name.
Oh no.
And the different name was Abu Tarek. Abu Tarek was the guy who raped his mom.
Oh my god.
He didn't know it was his mom.
Oh my god.
So he is both the mother, the father, and the brother of these kids.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
Joe, here's the thing, right? The reason the mother dies is because she finds out. Because he gets like a new, like at the end of the war and everything, he gets a new life in Canada. And they're in Canada, and the mum is at a swimming pool, and he's there, and she doesn't notice him. She doesn't notice the 3 dots. She sees the 3 dots on his heel,
and they're talking Arabic.
Yeah.
And so she gets out of the pool, she goes up towards him. He turns around, and it's the guy who tortured and raped her.
Yeah. So she sees the heel, and she's like, "That's my kid." She starts making her way. He turns around, and she's like. And it was like,
and he's like, can I help you, whatever? And they're like, fuck. And that's when she realizes, and she tells her lawyer everything. And then there were 2 letters. So her will and testament was like, if you don't find out anything, then you bury me face down without a gravestone so that I don't face the sun. But if you find everything out, then you can bury me and place me in a headstone, right? It's your choice, whatever you want to do. And she's like, when you find your brother and your father, you need to give them these letters. And then one letter is to the father, and the other one's letter to the son. That's what it's like named to. So she gives him the letters. So the daughter finds the daughter and the brother. They find the man who's now a janitor in Canada after his war crimes or whatever. He's like hidden a new identity, and they find him, and they're like, "Are you whatever his fucking name is?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Here, I have these 2 letters for you." And he looks at them and he's like, what? Okay, and he opens it and he reads one. The one just to the torturer or to the father. He's like, you are a piece of shit. Da, da, da. And then the other one's to the son. He's like, I speak to my son, not the torturer,
God.
but my actual son. And I was like, fuck, dude. But then I was like, oh, so Denis Villeneuve totally watched Oldboy and was like,
I can do better than that.
Bet. I can do better.
That's a
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer moment. And when I was like,
oh my God.
you think, you were like, oh, you think of, okay, this is, I guess if you haven't seen Oldboy, sorry. But
Yeah,
this is
sorry.
like, he watched Oldboy and was like, what's worse than one kid? Twins.
Yeah.
God.
Holy fuck.
That is
And I was immediately
awful.
reminded by that song by Immortal Technique,
Don't know.
Dance with the Devil. Where like there's like this kid and he lives with a single mom, and then he goes off and then he gets initiates into a gang.
Yeah.
And then the part of the initiation is he has to rape a chick, and then he's like raping this chick, and it turns out that she had like a hood on so he couldn't see, and it turns out the chick that he raped was his mom. You okay, Joe?
That's shocking.
But it's a rap song called "The Dance of the Devil" by Immortal Techniques. Pretty fucked up, and it's like, yeah. But here's the thing: I'm sure that kind of shit happened.
I'm pretty sure it
I'm
does.
sure it happens everywhere. And then that brings me back to the Pakistanis marrying their cousins. You know? And I met a dude who was from Pakistan once, and he had a fucked up hand, and had like an extra thumb where his thumb is.
Oh,
So he had like a
man.
thumb, and then he had another thumb. And I was just like, at least make it useful. But it didn't even work. I was like, you're just deformed for nothing, because your cousins can keep it in their pants.
Wow, that's awful.
This coming from the same country, which I love to say all the time, has the highest search records for, according to Google statistics, for homosexual pornography. The highest
Really?
in the whole world, Joe. In the whole world, this super Islamic country has the highest, and I talk about this on Instagram all of the time. I comment on it, and then one guy tried to correct me. He goes, "Well, Pakistan's not that Islamic," and I went, I brought up the Google statistics, and I was like, "It's 97% Islamic."
Oh my
And they have the highest search results, searches on Google for gay porn. The highest in the fucking world.
I mean, that's saying a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, your hospital thing.
Yeah. So, removing from all of that, yeah. When I first arrived, they put me in like this beautiful, freshly furbished ward, and everything was cool. And then when they started to figure out, okay, the issue is cardiac related, they were like, we're gonna move you to the cardiac ward. I was like, okay, cool. You know, you do what you do. So whatever you need to do to get me up and running and out of here, you do what you need to do. They moved me to the ward, and when I say to you, right, this ward that they moved me to, I'm not gonna mention the hospital. I ain't gonna mention the ward.
St. Mary's.
They moved me to this ward, and I say, Joe, when the double doors that you have to scan to get through, when these doors opened, the best way I can describe it is, you know that moment in Jacob's Ladder when they
I was
wheeling him
literally
through?
as you were talking, I went, I'm gonna put that clip playing in
listen.
the background whilst you're talking
And they
in the edit.
Yeah, they wheeled me through, and I started to see things just got dark fast because this ward was like under construction, basically.
Right.
It was constructed, but it was under construction.
Right.
And I found out later from talking to like one of the orderlies there, he was like, "This isn't a proper ward. Like it's basically been makeshift built."
Wow.
And you know they can't do anything about it. So this is where we put people. It's like, okay, but the ward was basically like, this is the end of your struggles.
okay.
Right?
So that's what they put you before they
put you here, and then if you get better,
say hello to clouds.
Yeah, they put you here, and then you either get better or you go into the upper room. Right?
The upper room.
The upper room. They sending you there, and they put me in there, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm in here, and immediately I could see there was me and 4 other people in this room, and I'm not gonna ruin nobody by giving them names, but there was a guy to my left, old English white guy. There was a guy opposite him, old English white guy. There was a guy opposite me, middle-aged English white guy.
Roger, Ted, and Dick.
And then there was a Asian man to my right.
Come on.
Right? Now, all I'm gonna say to you, right, is the guy who was to my right, I don't mean this to be horrible. I'm not saying this to be mean or spiteful or anything.
What, Joe Ducky?
But this motherfucker was dying.
Okay.
Joe Ducky.
Yeah, right?
Joe Ducky.
Joe Ducky, yeah.
Nah, this dude was.
Joe Ducky rhymes with pa. It's Cockney rhyming slang, innit?
This brother was not in the shape that he should be in, right? Like, so when I say to you, so the guy, so I'm in the middle because there's a guy on my left and a guy on my right, and then there's a guy in front of me and a guy on his right. So the guy in the corner on his right he's all right, but like he's a heavy sleeper. And I was like, okay, fine, fair enough. And whatever his issue was, it was like this man did not really want to eat. But he was there. And then the guy on my direct left, a very old man, and like there were times like when it was time to sleep, they had to put a face mask on him.
Oh, you mean like a CPAP?
Yeah, right. The guy directly opposite me, fine, cool as fine. In fact, he was going for surgery, so he was just waiting for them to like organize what they needed to organize to send him for surgery. The guy on my right, this man needed, I say he needed oxygen. Right. You know how they say like people who drink a lot of water, you can taste the difference in water. Not all water tastes the same. This man was like that with oxygen. Because they had a canister of oxygen, and then they had the oxygen that's plugged into the wall.
Damn, okay.
And he could tell which oxygen he was getting based on like whatever, like based on the smell, the taste, something. He could tell. And I was just like, but this guy was just.
Did he tell you which one was better?
Nah, this guy barely ever spoke. We're gonna get to him when he did speak, right?
you fucking nigga, get out of my hospital.
No, because when this guy was there, the thing is, this is because I was totally fine, right? Totally fine when I got to the hospital. Because remember, all of this happened from a routine. I had a routine test. And then from that routine test, the doctor was like, oh, let me check your blood pressure. Saw it was really high and was like, yeah, you're going to hospital now. So that is what led to that. But when we got there and I'm in this hospital ward, this guy's lying there and he's just lying down and he's asleep. But I can hear him. He's like, ugh, nurse, help. And I'm like, this guy all right? And then he's like, oh, help me. And I was like,
it'd be funny if he was like, black guy's taking my wallet.
But he was just like, he's like, nurse, help. And I'm just like, jeez. And this guy was struggling, clinging on to life. Now, here's what really got me was the food. And I'm gonna send pictures to you. You can put pictures of these food. You know when Jamie Oliver was like, I'm going into schools, I'm gonna sort out these kids' school dinners. Listen, give that man whatever he needs, send him into the hospital. Because when I say to you, Joe, you can see some of the dishes that I had to eat when I was at hospital, and then some of them may be coming across the screen. I was like, you're giving people these foods as you don't want them to make it. Now this Asian guy was there, right? Now he's an Asian man, and I found out later he's a Muslim Asian man. Oh, so his food.
Pakistani Muslim Asian guy.
I don't know if he was from Pakistan, right? But all I know is he was an Asian man and he was a Muslim man, and he didn't have like the food, like they gave you the menu and said you pick this, pick whatever, right? He never had that. He had the ethnic menu.
Okay.
Right? The ethnic menu, because my wife, she asked me, she was like, oh, like the food is not great. Why don't you ask for the ethnic menu? And I said, no. I said, I've seen what they give him, and he gives the ethnic menu. I said, they're not doing me like that. They're not doing me like that. You're not telling me that this is part of my culture, and then I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is not part of my culture. Right? So he, every day, he ordered the same thing.
Like, this is Guyanese food. And he's like, Guyanese food? You sure this is not just a guy's knees?
Yeah, right? No, listen, right? They gave me, imagine, right? So they gave this guy, every day, this guy ordered the same thing, right? It was chicken tikka masala. You've had chicken tikka masala, right?
Yeah.
You've had chicken tikka masala, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What color is chicken tikka masala?
Orange.
Right,
Yeah.
it's like an
Yellow.
orange.
It's got a
like
beigey.
it's between say red and yellow, right?
Yeah.
Orangey kind of.
Beigey.
It has a certain color to it, right?
Yeah.
So every day.
At least that's what the Tesco microwave thing tells me.
Right. Now I've been to Indian restaurants. I've seen the Tesco's joints. I was like, yeah, okay, I know what it looks like. This man every day ordered. I want a chicken tikka masala. That's what he wanted. And every day they brought him a dish. And this dish was green and white.
Wow. Okay.
And I thought at first, because it said chicken tikka masala and something rice, and I thought the green and white is the rice,
Right.
and they've given him chicken tikka masala, but it doesn't have the sauce. It's no masala. It's just chicken tikka, and I thought that's probably what he's got. Every day this man would complain about the food, complain about the food. One time I went like, I got a good look, and I was in my head, I said to myself, I was like, that is not chicken tikka masala.
Yeah,
all. Right? Now what was funny was we had the orderly who ran the ward, top notch guay. Absolutely.
So it wasn't like fucking the bitch from
from like Wolf Cooking. No, there weren't no
Cooking.
freaking no, it wasn't her, right? Nurse Ratchet. No, there weren't no Nurse Ratchet. Right? So it was stand-up dude. But he said to us, he was like, I'm going on holiday. So he was like, I'm going on holiday for like 10 days. So the day he left, a new nurse come in. This guy, Asian guy, this guy did not want to be there.
Okay.
Under any circumstances whatsoever, he did not want to be there. And this motherfucker, I have to call him a motherfucker, right? This motherfucker was just upset with everybody. Now, he's Asian. The guy to my right is Asian. They don't see eye to eye. Now, to say how messed up this ward was, in the toilet is the toilet and the shower. It was broken. Firstly, the toilet kept leaking, right?
Yeah.
So what would happen is every day when they would bring like towels, I would immediately I would take a towel and I would hide that towel and then I'll be like, oh, can I get 2 towels please? And they give me these 2 towels and I'll take them into the bathroom and I'll wrap them around the toilet so that the water's not flooding across the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, alright, cool. So that's that. Now the shower was also slightly busted in a way that the water doesn't immediately drain. So if you took a shower in there, it would wash all over the whole floor. Right? So now this guy, this Asian guy, he would go and take a shower. Now, he's a heavy set man.
Oh man,
right? He's a heavy set man. So when he would go into the shower, there's a chair that he would sit in and wash himself.
A chair?
It was like
that sounds like a game changer to me.
Right, it was a chair. It's just like a plastic chair that he would sit in.
Like a garden chair?
Like a commode.
Okay.
Right? So he would just sit in this chair and it's got a hole in the bottom where if he was going shit or something. So he would just sit in that chair and he would shower himself.
He would shit in the shower?
Now he did shit in the shower,
Oh, dude.
right?
Private rooms.
He
is
did
what I'm telling
shit
you.
in the shower. Now what happened was when he did this, right? I mean, like, I have WhatsApp messages between me and my wife where I would message her whenever something happened, and I was cussing and cussing and cussing. And one of these messages, oh, listen, Joe, one of these messages I wrote, it said the words, it said, "This motherfucker shit in the shower. He human shit in the shower," right? Right? And I was like, there's 2 nurses in there and they're struggling to clean it up.
Yo, listen, let me tell you, what is it about human shit? You
Nice.
see it and you know that's human shit. Like it's not even that. It's also got its own smell.
Yeah.
Like if you've seen dog shit, like okay, but dog shit always just looks and smells like dog shit.
Yeah.
But you know it's human shit because it smells like human shit. You're like, oh god.
There's something in it, maybe an enzyme or something that just it permeates your nose and you know it's human.
Yeah.
No. You got more. Yeah.
Anyway, the sooner you get back to work, the sooner you'll be partnerized. I taste shit.
Right?
It's like,
It's like when dogs piss on trees and they're like, yeah, I know that's another dog.
Yeah.
Right? It's something like that.
When a human shits, you know a human just took a shit. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
So it was like he shit in there.
What were you
and they
next to
cleaned
this
it up.
bathroom? Was it like near you?
It was, I say, a little bit further than I am to the wall.
Ugh.
Right? No, I couldn't smell it, but it was like I basically saw the nurses losing their shit in there, and then I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And then when I heard one of them, I was like, "This motherfucker!" Now, when the regular orderly was there, everything's cool. When this new Asian orderly was there, he opens the door to like check on him, right? And he was, "Oh, you okay?" He opens the door, sees the floors flooded with water. He hadn't shit in there this time. He only shit in there once, but he sees the floors covered in water.
Sorry, I can't get past this. Was this guy compos mentis? Was he like all there?
Yes.
So he like, and was he English Asian or Asian?
No, English Asian.
Oh,
so fucking Rajip, yeah, who grew up in the UK, has probably an English accent, correct?
Yeah, he's got a proper
Who's
like,
I'm gonna take a shit right
He
here.
had a proper geezer accent.
Nah,
No way.
dude.
Yeah, a proper geezer accent, right?
Nah, dude.
Yeah.
You know, a friend of ours, Sasha, is going back to India next year, and he told me this last night, and I said to him, I said, watch out for all the human shit, and he went, nah, dude, it's not like that, and I said, it is like that. I was like, when was the last time you went to India? No, I've never been to India.
No, shit, he's gonna
No, I think he had gone, but he had gone when he was younger.
Okay.
Or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, but you haven't been recently, right? He goes, no, but my brother's been a few times. I said, yeah.
Your brother's been.
So I'm just telling you, I was like, there's human shit everywhere. And he was like, no, there isn't. I said, okay.
Yeah, there
I
is.
said, if you go online, you'll find the advert that they did this year. This year, they released an advert to tell people to use toilets instead of shitting in the street. That's India.
Wow.
That's New Delhi. It's a shithole.
See, now I'll tell you this, right? I've been to India and I've been to New Delhi, and fortunately, I did not see any shit. However, this was over a decade ago.
Yeah. Well,
so,
his impression was, he went, yeah, but they've surely gotten their act together since then.
Oh my god.
And I went, no.
I'm like, that sounds like
it's
it's got downhill since
yeah,
then.
they had to release adverts to remind people to not shit in the street.
Please
don't shit in the street.
My ex did a documentary in India, and even there you could people shit on the street.
Yeah. A friend of mine who died recently, a friend of mine who was out there, he was in like one of those all outdoor shack restaurants, and he could see a group of people and just the paraphernalia and the noise, the whole like atmosphere there. And it was just some chick and some woman, and she like stood up, stepped back from her seat in her sari, squatted down exactly where she was eating, took a piss, stood up, her sari's in the piss, sat forward and sat back on her chair and started eating again. I was like, yo, dude. He sent me the video on WhatsApp, innit? And I was like,
Yo, what the fuck is going on?
The fuck is this? And I was like, you're out here? And he was like, yeah, I'm out here meeting some chick, because he was a bit of a philanderer of women. And he was like fucking some gal, and I'm like, make sure that chick is clean. Like, make sure she doesn't wipe front to back, back to front, you know? Like, instead of like wiping your ass like a normal person, make sure she does not wiping and putting like fucking poo in the cooch. You know?
Oh my god.
So to hear that this man, this compass mentis, British for all intents and purposes, British guy, went in there and was like, he's the kind of guy that shits in those porta potties in festivals.
The thing is, what I would say in this guy's defense is this guy struggled to do anything. He struggled to eat, struggled to breathe. He just about made it into the bathroom. So I'm like, the idea that this man was sitting down, cleaning himself, felt, ooh, I need to shit. I can imagine that he's like, I ain't getting up.
Still.
Right? As gross as it is, I can imagine he's that. But he did that now. So when the door opened and the guy was like cussing the nurse now, the Asian nurse is like, this is not your house.
Did you
Why
hear
are you making...
Was she Asian too?
No, this is a male nurse. A male Asian nurse.
Yeah, was he Asian as well though?
Yeah.
Did you hear the word benchod?
No, I didn't. They spoke in complete English, both of them, right? And he was like, you like, this is not your house. You can't be making all this mess. And all I heard is the guy who was in the ward, he was just like, I know this ain't my fucking house. Right? I know that they say you don't be disrespectful to staff, but when he was like, I know this ain't my fucking house, and he was started cussing him back, I know the nurse, he felt away, and he felt away in such a way that he couldn't respond. Right. And then it was like, cleaned him up, put him back into bed.
Bro,
now lunchtime,
shitting in the shower
is gross.
And defending it.
Yeah, that's
wild.
No.
When somebody calls you out on it and then shouting back, that's wild, bro.
This time, when he walked in, there was no shit in the shower. This was just like he'd showered and made a watery mess on the floor. There was no shit.
Right.
The shit was a couple days before that.
Right.
So he was saying,
he done enough. He's like, this fucking guy.
And I say to you, right, he cussed each other out and he got in there and he was cleaned up and done. Then lunchtime came. My man asked again, chicken tikka masala. When the food arrived and he was like, he starts cussing and he's really upset now. And he's cussing again, and he's like, every day I've asked for chicken tikka masala. Every time you bring me this, and this ain't chicken tikka masala. And the guy's got the paperwork, the paper menu in his hand, and he's like, well, you know, like, this is what you ordered. This guy in the ward, he points at him, and he goes, you know that this is not chicken tikka masala, right?
You're one of us, you know.
And the nurse looks at him, he looks at the paperwork, looks at him, don't say nothing for a good 10, 12 seconds, and he's like, this is what it says on the paper, this is what you ordered, right? And I was just like, he caught you so badly, because you don't want to say, look, I know this ain't chicken tikka masala, but this is what these people are prepared for you.
Yeah.
But you're struggling because you can't, on one hand, you know your culture. And on the other hand, this is your job. Don't go against the company now.
Yeah, it's always about the company.
Yeah, so you had that. And that was one wild thing that happened. Now, the guy who was on my left, very nice guy, very calm, like, you know, old English guy that you're like, yeah, he could be like
Steve,
you know, a solid guy, but very old.
Dave,
yeah.
Very old, very injured.
He's an old English guy. His name's
English
Barry,
right? And couldn't make it to the bathroom. So anytime he needed to go, he would call them, and they'd be like, either A, they gave him a little pot that he could piss in, or they wheel out the commode that he's got to sit in.
And he does that shit in the room.
They just draw the curtain so you can't see nothing, but you could, like you said, you can hear everything. So one time,
does he loud shit?
No, he was very quiet. until there was one moment when he wasn't.
Uh-huh.
And this is the moment I'm gonna tell you about. He was in there.
Sounds like Doom Guy.
He was in there, and I can hear like a little bit of struggling. And then the nurse goes in there because he calls for the nurse. The nurse goes in there, and I hear him say these words, and this is gonna stay with me forever. He says, "I've done all the pushing I can do. You're gonna have to pull it out."
Oh. Can we just stop for a second? I need to take that in. I need to take that in. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
That guy needs to drink more water.
No.
Hey! Somebody bring me a Diet Coke!
Nurses need to get paid more money. That's what I think we found out here today.
Everything I saw my entire time that I was in hospital, all I must say is this: all that money that you pay, I know obviously advertising is the thing, but all the money that you pay to all these professional football players who get dough, you need to cut that in half and drop the rest onto the NHS. I know government, I know you're trying to get rid of the NHS, you want everybody
No, that was the Conservatives.
Right? I'm telling you right now, these people are understaffed, overworked, but they're going through a lot. Because never in my life did I ever think I would hear someone say, "I've done all the pushing I can, you're gonna have to pull it out," and be referring to the shit in their ass.
How big do you reckon that log was?
I don't know.
It's gotta be big, right?
I don't
For someone to pull it out.
I don't know. I quit. I quit. I'm done.
You know how terrible it is, right? A nurse who was there, I'm not saying she quit, but she did. She quit the job because she came to see the guy who was over there, and he was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while." And she's like, "Yeah, I know. I'm leaving. Like, today's my last day." And he was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going back to Cardiff with my family." And I was like, "Okay."
I had to pull out a rope of shit from a man's asshole. That was my line. I said after that, I don't want to go anymore.
Yeah.
Everything else is taboo.
Right? No, but I'll tell you, when I was getting with the food, so there was one time with the food now, they said dinner is going to be roast chicken with potatoes and something else, and they was like veg, right? Now, I don't eat corn.
Don't you?
No.
Why?
I don't eat sweet corn.
Why?
I just have a block that I can't get past.
Okay.
Which is that it looks the same coming out as it does going in.
Oh, okay.
So I can't.
It's
a super whatever it is. I can't get past that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't eat corn. So when they said that here's the veg, it's got corn in it, I was like, nah, I'm okay. Just give me the chicken, the potatoes, and the gravy. Cool. It's all right, no problem. So they did that, and they gave me a piece of chicken, which I will show you guys the picture later. Now, all I'm gonna say is this, right? The people I know who complain the least about food tend to be English white people, right? Not all, but the majority of time I've heard people complain about food. Never them.
You know why?
Right?
Because the delicacy is beans on toast, bro.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Now
Anything else is going to be golden.
Yeah.
Now here's the wild bit. Was I'm cutting this chicken and I'm like, jeez, but I need to get out of here. And the three guys, other than this one Asian guy and me, the one black guy, the other three guys in the room, all white, all English, and they're cussing. And I was like, I'm seeing the guy who's over on my left trying to cut this chicken open, and he's like, oh. And I was like, I said his name. I was like, "You're right there. You need some help." And he was like, "I'll get there in the end." And he's just cutting. He finally cuts it, and he finally bites into it, and he he goes, "Oh, wow, fucking hell!" Right? And I was like, "You're right." And he was, "Oh."
I've eaten pussy
right?
like that.
And he was like, and he was talking about how dry the chicken was. So that was that. And I was like, jeez. Then the other guy who's opposite him, remember I told you earlier, this guy didn't eat. This guy wouldn't eat. Like, they bring him food and he was like, I don't want it. So I don't know whatever issues he had. He just didn't have an appetite. When they told the man it was roast chicken, potatoes, veg and gravy, the man was like, I'll have that. I'll have some of that. It's like, cool. He didn't take that guy's approach. This man took all his strength, just stabbed the fork into the chicken, reversed the grip. I went, oh. He bit it, and all I saw was he bit into it, and when I did, he was like, oh. And just flung the fork back on the plate and just went like that.
Damn.
Just went back to sleep. He was like, yeah, you woke me up for this, right? So he was upset. Gosh. And I'm saying,
I don't remember hospital food being this bad. It must be your hospital, because when I was in hospital, again, granted, I was in the private room.
Yeah,
my food was nice.
But you have to remember, think of where I live, and think of the closest hospitals to where I live,
Kent
versus hospitals here, Londonish area, right? Proper London area.
I also had McDonald's brought to me as well.
Oh, listen, the Asian dude, he had Wingstop brought to him. But his family brought him Wingstop. They brought him Wenzel's. They brought him this next, like, I think it might have been home cooked, right? They brought him the real chicken tikka masala. Oh, there was a difference in his attitude, boy.
Okay.
There was a difference in his attitude. But
hey, life isn't too bad.
But all I'm saying is, yeah.
When you're shitting in the shower, no one calls you on it. Yeah, sure.
But what I'm saying to you is that my time in hospital there made me be like, that's the last time I want to be in hospital.
Yeah, my mom said something similar. She the first time she went into hospital was I was 6, and my train set went into her leg, and when she came out, she said she doesn't want to ever go back. If she said if I go back, I'm going to be dying or dead, and unfortunately that was the case. But I so understand that all your comforts are taken from you. All you have is a bed and your mind.
You have a bed, your mind, and roommates who are not in the condition that
Again,
you would want roommates to be in.
This is a classist thing, because when I was in hospital,
I
had Wi-Fi. I had.
I had Wi-Fi.
No, I mean, like, I had my own room. I had a good view.
I
could see Wembley with the Wembley arch from my room. I had it good. It was nice.
Were you not fit part?
No,
yeah.
I can see, right? I can see from the hotel room, right? I can see the construction of the car park.
This is what I'm telling you. Like, if you pay private, it's like 150 a day. But if you're only in there for like 2 days, I'm not going with the peasants.
Nah, I'd have been. That would have run me like a couple of paychecks.
Yeah, I still would have done it, dude. Because look at the experience you had.
But that experience was the.
You stood in a shower and had a shower where another man took a shit.
No, I did not. Because after that day, when I knew that this man had shit in that shower, sink wash every day.
Yeah.
I had to literally after that. When I say the message came through to the wife, and it was like, I need 2 flannels. I need my shower gel. I was listed the list of requirements. Yeah, because I was like, we're doing everything to avoid standing in that shower.
He's like, we need guns.
Yeah, literally. Imagine that scene, and it was just all my accoutrements. It was shower gel. It was everything. I'm not using nothing that they bring me.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing I used was the towels, and that was to wrap the thing up.
How long we got left? 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I've been ranting for a long time about my experience in hospital, which is why I said to you, I was like, yeah, it needs to be 2 parts, because...
Yeah, fuck that, dude. Fuck that. Fuck going into places that... Listen, here's what I'll say, yeah? I've gone to dangerous places, fucked up places in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and the one place you don't skimp on is places like hospitals and stuff, because shit like this happens to you, man. It's like, anything... Is something that I learned is like anything between you and the ground, you need to spend money on. So shoes, mattress, car, shit like that. Yeah, you need to spend good money. If you're in a hospital, you want to spend good money in it, even if it's just like for the sake of like some of those little. That's why get fucking health insurance if you can, you know.
Yeah.
And then that covers you and puts you in a good room, and or you can cover the difference. But I'm telling you, for somebody who's been in the hospital, not recently, I haven't been in hospital for a long time, but I'm going to hospital soon because I have to have an operation on my leg. I'm going private. Like, I'm going to a private ward. I'm going to stay in a private room. I'm not going to be and it's only keyhole surgery. I'll actually be in and out in like a day or two, but I'm gonna pay the money to go into the private room. You know the fuck? Yeah, I'll tell you, this is funny though. So when we went to hospital when my son was born, we were in a private room because I was like, get us out of this fucking peasant ward. Put me in a private room. So we went to the private room, and then at the end, and I was like, okay, cool, like I'll pay for it, like here's my credit card, whatever. And then they were like, oh no, you pay for it at the end. I said, okay, cool. You sure? Yeah, cool, fine. So we're leaving. Like, we're being discharged.
Yeah.
Bloomers is holding my son, and I'm like, okay. She's like, oh, okay, like let's go. And I said, yeah, let's go. And then she goes, wait, we haven't paid for the room. And I said, I know. They haven't charged us yet. Let's get the fuck out of here, right? And then she was like, oh no, but I want to say bye to the nurses. And I put my hand on her chest and I went, listen, are you trying to cost me money right now? I was like, we're about to get away scot-free here. Shut the fuck up. Turn around. Go out the door. We'll send them a box of chocolates. Leave, please. Because that bill was about to run me like £900, right?
Oh, Jesus
so I was just
Christ.
like, get the fuck out the place.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, okay. Like, but don't get me wrong, we did it, and I was just like, listen, I love you and everything with the baby, but £900, come on, we're about to get away with it scot-free.
Like,
and we did.
Think of what that money could do for that child.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we did. We got away with it scot-free. They never sent me the bill, which is fine. To be fair, I was willing to pay it. Like,
Yeah.
But they fucked up. That's their fault.
Yeah,
you know?
It's
That's their fault. But fuck going into places like that. You know, my dick has led me into places that are dangerous. I wouldn't even go in there without a gun, and I've gone in there freely, just completely ignoring all the red flags.
Yeah.
In life, and you know, but now obviously I'm a little bit older, so
yeah,
you meet that like goth chick, you know, and she's like, oh yeah, come back to my place. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
You don't notice all the signs. You're like, oh, there's Sepultura, there's fucking, there's a talisman on the wall with a knife and blood on it. Okay, so when are we gonna fuck?
After the ceremony.
Yeah, after the ceremony.
I'll say this about the just healthcare in general. When it gets to the point where you have to shoot a CEO.
Listen, man, I'll tell you like this. After my experience in hospital, because that was my first in all my years of life, I have never been overnight in a hospital. Every time I have been in the hospital before this experience, I've been in the hospital 3 times for my own health, and each one of those times I was in the hospital less than 5 hours. 3 times.
No, say it like you said it.
3 times. Yes, right? Each one of them was less than 5 hours. I was in, and it was like, okay, maybe I went in for like a test or a very specific thing. Like, I was at work, and where I worked was like manufacturing and stuff, and I got a cut on the top of my head. So they were like, okay, you have to go to hospital. I was there real quick, in and out. Little dab you up, clean the wound, and they were like, it's not going to bleed, you don't need stitches, cool. And I was like, boom, I'm off. Right? This experience of being in there, staying nights in there, having to wake up and eat food and all of that, governments of the world, every single one, invest more money in your health system, in your hospitals, because
they won't do that. They won't do that. They don't give a fuck, and that's a massive
because
problem.
I say shooting that CEO, the health insurance CEO. I'm not saying I condone violence, but I can understand. What I went through, if I had to pay for that, like the way Americans have to pay for their healthcare, when I say I'd have been etching words on them bullets too. Right?
But if you paid for your healthcare, you wouldn't have that kind of experience. That's the point. Like we pay for it, but we don't pay for it. It's like subsidized from your wages.
Subsidized from tax.
But but if you actually paid for that healthcare, like I promise you, let me tell you something. For somebody who's dealt with private wards, private doctors, like there is a huge difference. Like even just like dentistry, right? So I call my dentist. So I have an NHS dentist. We all do in the UK. For people in America, we have we all signed up to a dentist. To get that appointment is fucking ball ache, right? Because we have all these fucking filthy foreigners coming into our country and taking the piss out of us. This is my view, not theirs, just mine. We have those filthy foreigners coming into our country and raping our country and taking advantage of our fucking NHS system, which is downtrodden and fucking the entire system up, right? So, and you know, and our people, Keir Starmer, that fucking pussy, right, is not closing the borders like he should be, right, to stop these fucking animals coming in here whilst we stand around watching our country get raped. Anyway, the point is, you can't get an NHS appointment. You can't with your doctors. You can't get one with your dentist. So I had to go private. And let me tell you, it's more expensive because, you know, it's not free. But fuck, dude. Like, my dentist, I couldn't get an appointment with them, so I went to another dentist, which is closer to where I live. And where my partner has her NHS, she's registered with them with the NHS, but I'm not. So I was like, hey, listen, I want to sign up as a private patient. Okay, cool, no worries. Went in and immediately like, oh, when do you want an appointment? Like, when's free for you? And I was like, tomorrow? Sure. See you tomorrow. Done. This time. Cool. Fine. Fucking all right. Whatever. Same with when Louise can't even get through to them to make that NHS appointment, so I have to do it when I go. And I'm like, can I make an appointment with my son? Jeez. To get him on, and then when they take the call, when you call their office, they always, the first thing they say is like, welcome to our dentist. By the way, we're not taking NHS patients anymore. Fuck yourself, basically. We'll only do it private.
Wow. Okay.
It's just funny. It's just like, and when I went to I had to have an ultrasound on my leg, right, before this operation, and they said to me, because it's NHS, sorry, my stomach's making that noise. I'm starving. I've not eaten since yesterday. So they said to me like, oh, you got to get an ultrasound. I said, okay, cool. And then like, how much is like the doctor, the surgeon was like, oh, it's good. Just letting you know, like when you go to the imaging department, the wait is really long. We're talking like 12 months. And I was like, what? 12 months? I was like, for an ultra little thing? And he was like, yeah, dude. I was like, okay. So I went there and I said, yeah, how do I, like, you know, I went there with my documents. I spoke to them. The imaging department were like, yeah, the wait's really long. It's September. And I was like, September, huh? And I was like, this was October. So I'm like, September.
Counting in your mind.
I was like, fuck, dude. And they were like, yeah. And I said, how much is it? And they were like, oh, what, like the scan? I said, yeah, how much is the scan? And they were like, no, how long does it take? And they were like, oh, it's like 10 minutes. I said, how much is the scan? They were like, £270. I said, so what if I pay for it now? They were like, what? And I said, what if I pay for it right now? And they were like, you pay for it privately? I said, yeah, if I give you £270 of money, how much? And they were like, well, I mean, if you pay for it right now, we could do it right now. Dude, I was like, this is what's wrong with our country. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll pay for it. They were like, we want to pay for it right now? And it was this whole big kerfuffle as if no one had ever said that before, right?
I don't think many people have.
So everyone was like, oh my God, he wants to pay for it right now?
Nobody thinks about it in this country. Nobody thinks about it like that. I wouldn't think to say out loud if they were like, oh, you need this imaging done, okay? It's good. The wait time is this long. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's long, right? That's as far as it would go. I wouldn't just immediately think to
let me try to solve the problem a different way. Yeah.
Well, how much is it? And if I pay for it right now, how much is it right now?
I think, and I'm not trying to flex on people, right?
No, but it makes sense.
A lot of people don't have that financial freedom to say that.
Yeah,
right?
but it also makes sense that they should offer. Look, this is the wait time, but if you pay for it, we can do it tomorrow or next week.
Yeah, but they don't, because they can't. I reckon they probably can't.
Yeah,
right?
they probably can't.
But that's why I was like, the thing is, if you gave somebody that option, right? So if you said to me, like, oh, if you pay us money, we'll do it right now. But if not, you got to wait till this time. I'd be like, it would raise so many more questions because I'd be like, why? Why?
I guess
why do I have to pay you? I already pay you.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that whole queue is based on
NHS.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. It's
backlog.
about priority, right? So it's like that creates that class system.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you gotta have that financial freedom to go. Okay, I'm gonna step up a class, and that's what I did because I have that financial freedom. Like I'm blessed in that way. Not trying to flex on
No,
anybody. I'm just,
it's there. If you can, why
yeah.
not?
And so I was just like, okay, I'll pay for it now then.
Yeah.
And so then. And then they were like, oh, and there was this big kerfuffle. I was like, oh shit, you want to pay for it right now? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't understand. You've given me the option. Like, what? They didn't. I asked, and then here we are. And so I said, yeah, cool. And so they did it. And then, like, dude, it was like, do you know what the most annoying thing about it was? And I was seen within like 2 minutes of me saying that and me paying, right?
Yeah.
I tapped it. I went, yeah, cool, let's do it. And then some guy just came out, half a sandwich in his mouth. He goes, oh, you're the guy? Yeah, come in. Like chewing a sandwich. He goes, yeah, come. He's like, my man wasn't even backed up. And I did this in a room full of patients.
Wow.
So the waiting room was packed. There was nowhere to even sit. And I walked in and just paid and got seated straight away.
Can you imagine the heat on him? Because you know what that sounds like? It sounds like when you go to a theme park and you pay for like this queue jump.
Oh, okay.
You just cut past everybody, yeah.
Yeah, and you just look like, yeah, see you in an hour.
Yeah. Or not. Or not. But yeah, that's the, so you get what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it's a fucked up system, but either way, that's I think we have to wrap it up, right? Because we run out of time, right? So we run out of time. We're gonna continue on with the adventures of Neil in hospital and probably some other bullshit that we're gonna talk about. But we love you. Thank you very much for subscribing. Please make sure in the new year, because this is technically a New Year's episode, in very much how like the last episode was a Christmas episode, but only because it took place at Christmas.
Yeah.
Not because it was Christmas themed. Very much like how Die Hard takes place at Christmas, but it's not technically Christmas themed. This is like I guess a new year or a new
Lethal Weapon
episode. And yeah, Merry New Year, everyone. Hope everyone has a good time.
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year, man. I hope everyone has a good time. And yeah, like just make sure in the new year you are the reason why HR has to get involved. You know. Make sure you do that. Make sure that's the case. And yeah, we love you. We're glad to have Neil back, and we hope everything goes perfect as much as it can for everybody. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making our year amazing. All the subscribers we've had, we jumped from 0 to 41, which may not seem a lot to a lot of people, but it means a lot to me.
Significant.
And I really appreciate you all. And yeah, and I've been El.
I've been Neil.
And I'm Jose.
And we love you very much, and Merry New Year, have a good time, and you know, fuck those people that are taking money from those nurses. Nurses need to get paid more.
Definitely.
Peace out.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Girls have the power to change the world. It is a fact, and yet today, girls are more likely than boys